I'm Katie Arwood, the Library Director at the Montcalm Community College Library. I know I was blessed as a child to have parents who read to me, in particular my mom, who read to me and my younger brother Andy. And I can remember with joy hearing her read about the Ingalls girls, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. I think about Ralph from The Mouse and the Motorcycle and The Spider and the Pig and Charlotte's Web. All those great stories made great memories. When I was old enough to read chapter books by myself, I enjoyed Island of the Blue Dolphins, Harriet the Spy. I loved all of Roald Dahl's books, as well as Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. And a particular favorite was From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweller. My best reading buddy in the world is Nancy Cordes. She and I have been reading together for many years. She started kind of mentoring my reading when I was 14 years old, sharing lots of books with me, and we still do that. There's not a day goes by that we don't talk or text or write each other about favorite books or authors we're reading, or even those things that we're looking forward to reading. It's wonderful to have a reading buddy, someone to share your stories with. And if you don't have a reading buddy, maybe encourage somebody else in your house to start reading. Or just as great is to visit your local library and talk books with those people. They love to talk books, and they love to hear what you have to say about books as well. Of the many genres in literature, I am 110% devoted to short stories. They are my favorites. But I also enjoy fiction with a bit of southern flavor. I like books set out west. I like books set in Canada. I like books that feature humor or animals. I like unexpected biographies, books about regular people doing unexpected, extraordinary things. I would have to say I'm more captivated by writing than I am the plot. I love beautiful words. But when I say that, I also want to tell you too, I like a book that knocks my socks off and just jumps off the page at me. And for some reason, I love to read books told from the male perspective. I actually will read just about anything. I love the act of reading. I like to open a book and I like to feel my eyes go across the page row by row. I read every single word, so that makes me a slow reader. And I love to read ebooks. Some people are not so fond of those. I think they're wonderful because I can make the print larger, which I oftentimes need, and I can read at night in bed and hopefully not disturb my husband too much. So I have with me today a stack of some of my favorite books. This one is Lives of Girls and Women by Alice Munro. That's fiction. I have A Prayer for Owen Meany by John Irving. Fiction. I brought Dime Store, A Writer's Life by Lee Smith. That's nonfiction. Prairie Fever by Michael Parker. That's fiction. Pete Dexter's Paper Trails. Nonfiction. The Day the World Came to Town, Gander, Newfoundland, 9/11 by Jim DeFeed. Nonfiction. I have, let's see, Plain Song. This is a series by Kent Harff. Wonderful. Fiction. I have Thunder Dog by Michael Hinkson. Nonfiction. The very last one in my stack is not necessarily my favorite book, though I love it very much. It just happens to be the book that I've reread more times than I can count. And for some reason, when I see this book, when I touch this book, when I think too much about this book, I end up rereading it again. I'm easily, maybe would be starting my 9th or 10th reread if I did, and that is Juliet in August by Diane Warren. So I believe that 98.9% of the time, the book is better than the movie. But every now and again you come across the movie that maybe a book's equal or at least does such a great job representing the book that you have to share it. And for me, that would be Simon Birch. It was out in 1998. It's a little tiny gem of a movie, and it's based on a book I mentioned earlier, A Prayer for Owen Meany. And while A Prayer for Owen Meany is a huge story and could in no way be captured in a film, Simon Birch has pulled out the very most wonderful, moving parts of that book and made it just a gem of a movie. And this is a great family movie for everyone. Finally, I like to ask people all the time, so if you were a book, what would be your title? And if somebody asked that of me, I'd have to steal from a children's classic, and I would say, I am the Mixed Up Files of Ms. Katie E. Arwood.